Hello, my Fly Mickey friends. Welcome to this week's edition of Tips, Tricks and Travel News Update from the world of Disney. And on this week's episode, new itineraries set to be released from Disney Cruise Line. Marvel's Black Widow may be put on hold. And Disneyland Paris fans get some frosty news. Now, before we take a look at this week's news, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, give this video a like, and click the bell icon to stay in the know about all things Disney. First up, and something unique can be found just inside the doors of the Lakeland Antique Mall in Tampa Bay. It's a Disney fan's dream, an authentic ride vehicle from the Snow White's Adventures attraction in Disneyland Anaheim, and it can be all yours for just $50,000. Manager of the 44,000 square foot collector's paradise, Phil Evans, has said that when people walk past, they look in astonishment that it's there and it's available to buy. In fact, there are only a few vendors around the world to whom Disney sells authentic park props to, and two of those vendors operate inside the Lakeland Antique Mall. Now, there are some big ticket items available, like a Disney Springs holiday castle decoration for around $1,500, a life-size Dopey installation from a Disney store for $5,800, and get this, if you've got deep pockets, an original piece of artwork from It's a Small World's legend, Mary Blair, and it's on sale for just $13,900. But don't worry, for you beginner collectors, there are some affordable entries as well, like some tiki lamps from the Polynesian Resort, complete with all the gorgeous Imagineering details, and they are available for just under $100. I'd like to point out at this moment that we are not endorsing or promoting this establishment. We just felt that some unique Disney news would be a cool way to start this episode off. Now, Disney Cruise Line has announced in the last couple of days that it will be offering families some new sailings around the world in summer of 2022, including voyages to new destinations and ports of call in the Greek Isles, Mediterranean, Northern Europe, Alaska, and the Caribbean. The new additions include a first-ever summer departure from Miami that will take guests to Disney's private island in the Bahamas, Castaway Cay, as well. While they prepare for a return to sea just as soon as the time is right, the cruise line continues to look at the future and develop more cruising options for families. That's what Thomas Masloom, president of Disney Cruise Line, stated last week when making the announcement. He also added, offering this diverse new line of itineraries for the summer of 2022 shows our commitment to taking more guests to more destinations around the world as we plan for additional ships in the years ahead. Bookings for these new cruises will open from March the 25th this year, so drop us a message at flymickey.co.uk if you'd like your very own personalised cruise vacation quote. Now, normally of late, it's been nothing but good news from the ever-growing streaming giant, but this week uncertainty has been unleashed on Disney Plus's releasing schedule. Cast your minds back to last summer when Mulan repeatedly flirted its release date in the face of pandemic uncertainty to some very heavy criticism despite its overall successful performance. But now it's Black Widow's turn. Its May 7th release is only 7 weeks away, with Japan and Australia and a handful of other territories set to go live on April the 29th. But as to whether it'll be a theatrical exclusive, Walt Disney Company CEO Bob Chapek said that will come down to a last-minute decision. The issues that will inform that decision stretch across the globe and could determine the fate of the Marvel movie. Any and all uncertainty over further lockdowns or restrictions could warrant a decision to delay all movie opening dates in theatres across the world. While theatres are counting on the Marvel film to reignite their businesses, they do appear to be in favour of a delay that would allow them to keep a window open to release the movie later in the summer. One major factor that may decide the movie's fate is Disney Plus, which is now available in most of the world. So Disney may be tempted to test those waters a little more, with Black Widow exclusively releasing first on that platform. While a Black Widow delay of 3 weeks or so after May 7th would hurt just a little, in the long term, it is critical that top films perform as close to expectations as possible in order to recoup investments made in their making. Let us know your thoughts on how best to launch this Marvel movie in the comments below. California's 2 Disney theme parks will reopen on April the 30th, with Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa opening the day before with some limited capacity. All theme parks in California have been closed due to the COVID-related restrictions for the past year, but the new state guidance permits amusement parks to reopen beginning April the 1st, with capacity ranging between 15% and 35%. But this will be based on the prevalence of the virus in the communities that they are found. Disney's Bob said their 2 parks will operate at around 15% capacity to start with, at least. Disney has also said that the reopening in California will mean the return of roughly 10,000 cast member jobs, bringing some much-needed good news for the Orange County region. A touch of Disney, the food festival, which started on March 18th at the Disney California Adventure Park, will now run through till at least April 19th due to popular demand, with additional dates to be added on a rolling basis. This is acting as almost a soft opening to the main attractions, while at the same time getting visitors in the right mindset for all the new regulations that will be required when the theme parks reopen at the end of April. At this time, though, there is no news from when Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel and the original Disneyland Hotel will reopen, but no doubt these won't be far behind, as I can imagine that supply and demand will be pretty high for the Disney Anaheim Resort. And finally, in 2018, Disneyland Paris announced that there would be a $2.4 billion multi-year expansion coming to their parks. This would include a Star Wars land, much like Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, an area for the Marvel Universe named Avengers Campus, and a new fully immersive Frozen land based on Frozen, funny enough, and will be discoverable in the Walt Disney Studios Park. Not a lot has been mentioned about the expansion since the world as we know it abruptly stopped due to the dreaded C word, especially with Disneyland Paris experiencing on and off temporary closures. But this week we ventured a little more into the unknown when it comes to the timeline of the phased debut of the Frozen-themed land, thanks to some online announcements. The resort hasn't unveiled a lot about this expansion yet, but what we do know is that there will be at least one ride, a meeting place to say hello to your favourite Frozen characters, and possibly a nighttime spectacular expected in the fully immersed land. This, along with gift shops where you can fill your boots with Frozen merchandise, and at least one restaurant where you can indulge in delicious foods once they open up those gates. Design layouts of Disneyland Paris' Frozen Land came online this week, showing off the Arendelle fjords that will welcome guests to the home of Princess Anna, Queen Elsa, Olaf, Kristoff, Sven, and many other Frozen friends. And we also got to look at the accompanied concept for the snow-capped mountains in Elsa's Ice Palace and the Kingdom of Arendelle in general. It was said that the new attraction coming to Frozen Land will be very similar to the version found at Epcot known as Frozen Ever After. It's a voyage to Arendelle aboard an ancient Nordic vessel that takes you on a musical tour of the famous Frosty franchise. And I'll tell you, this enchanting summer snow day celebration, complete with many of your favourite Frozen tunes, is sure to melt even the coldest hearts when it opens at DLP. As mentioned before, the exact details of the attractions coming to the real-life Arendelle at Disneyland Paris have not yet been released, and Disney has not yet set an official opening date for 2023. However, as soon as we have more information, we will let you know for sure. And that's it for this week's Tips, Tricks and Travel News Update. Don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms at FlyMickeyTravel so you'll never miss out on the magic moments from the world of Disney. And all that's left to say is have a happy ever after magical day.